Thank you so much, Mahir Uncle, for having this conversation. Excited to chat and learn a little bit more about your background and your experience. Can we start by do you mind sharing a little bit about your background as a real estate agent? What got you interested in real estate? How long have you been in real estate, and what do you enjoy about it?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thanks for having me. Share my thoughts on the topic. And again, like you introduced, my name is Mihir Gandhi. I'm with First Team Real Estate. I'm a full-time realtor. And so let me give a little background about how I got started and what got me into real estate, right? So back in 1986, going back a long time, I was working at a computer store as a manager. But at the same time, while I was working and applying for my green card, I thought, why not try to have some additional income through my contacts and learn the ropes of real estate. So I appeared for my exam and I cleared it in 86. But I got so tied up with my computer consulting business and my other obligations that I had that I never really got around to practicing it at that point. So the license number I have from the DRE is one of the oldest you'll find for any agent who is active today. It's one of the oldest numbers around.
Oh,
So
wow.
that is an interesting thing. But essentially, back in 2005, I got an offer from a listed company to help them with their US operations, which was based in India, but I was helping with them with the US operations.
Okay.
So I joined them, and it was the offer I could not refuse. So I got out of the computer field and joined them, and did extremely well in 3 years, helping them cover the US territory with the operations and vendor relations, customer service, and things like that.
Okay.
But then in 2009, they shifted the operations to Seattle, and I did not want to relocate there. So I
Okay.
entered real estate full time in 2009, and I've been with First Team Real Estate since 2014 now. So,
That's awesome. Um, that's amazing. Can you share a little bit about what you enjoy most about being a real estate agent?
yeah, so any job can become monotonous or a little boring after a while.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much money you make. If you don't enjoy the job or the work that you're doing or the business that you are in,
Yeah.
then it's defeating the purpose to an extent, I feel.
Yeah.
So the good thing about real estate is that each home is different, each client is different, their needs are different. There's no repetitive or no monotonous situations arising.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a big plus, no monotony. But more importantly, I'm a people person, so I like to interact and interface with individuals. So in this business, I do get introduced to new clients, making new friends who were acquaintances at one point or who became clients, but later on they became friends.
Yeah.
And that is a big, big plus for me. And so another thing I would say is that when a first-time home buyer comes to me for starting the journey to live the American dream,
Yeah.
and then I get to know them, I show them homes, no pressure from my side until they find the right home. And it's just a young couple that has started their journey. They decide to purchase a home, they start a family, the family grows bigger, they want to move into a bigger and better place, which is possibly their dream home. So it's kind of very heartening to see the the transformation from just being a young couple who was starting out to becoming successful, and the home hopefully would have helped them flourish and blossom in their life, and the family is complete where they're moving into a bigger home, and that
Yeah.
is, I think, the most satisfying aspect for me, really. So
That's awesome. Yeah. The client relationships, I'm sure, and seeing
yes,
people.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
talking about that, each client for me is not a transaction, it's a relation. So
Yeah. That's awesome. Uh, Especially I think since buying a home is such a huge decision that people make, and you get to be the guy that's
exactly
right
right.
there with them.
It's the single largest financial decision that one makes in their life,
Yeah.
and to be a part of it, and where it's all about trust, right? At that point, they trust you, and you have that confidence that you are going to help them buy the right home at the right price and
Yeah.
not just sell something where it'll not let you sleep at night just because you wanted to earn a commission. That is
Yeah.
not my style. So,
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I'm sure that's why you've been in the game so long and you've been so successful.
yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Um, Cool. I wanted to just ask a little bit about your experience with this content creation system. So, this AI content creation system. For context, we had built out this system that looks at news articles and generates Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook posts for you in your own personal brand voice so that you can represent yourself as the kind of local authority in your market. So, just wanted to get your thoughts like what inspired you to want to have a system like this? And how does it differ from what you've been doing in the past?
Yeah, so it's a pretty loaded question, but yeah, good question though. AI is the new buzzword on the horizon right now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
just like what we had with the .com and then kind of like the internet, the websites, and the World Wide Web, all those things kind of like over a period of time, things change, and that's the beauty of technology.
Yeah.
AI is kind of like definitely the next big thing that is kind of like happening, and buzzword that has created a lot of kind of like interest in not only just one industry, but across it's a global application basically.
Yeah.
Uh, so thinking aloud, kind of like AI, how it can be effectively used in my business, which is the real estate industry. I think some of the most obvious things are kind of like that it definitely would help streamline the workflow, which is very important. Time management in our business, time is everything. If you don't manage it right, you are the loser. So
Yeah.
that that workflow streamlining is very critical. And obviously, it kind of like improves the creativity also because you have some external help in fine tuning things or presenting it in a better way. Uh, and kind of like for just content and things like that, to spend so much time kind of like just gathering articles and coming up with hashtags or captions and things like that.
Yeah.
Instead of that, if that process can be automated and the content can be posted on a regular basis with consistency, I think that is one of the immediate things that I can think of how this process can be beneficial basically. So
Yeah.
that is my initial inspiration, so to say. Yeah.
That's awesome. How do you feel like it's saved time or streamlined your time? I think you kind of already touched on it, but how has it helped you be a little bit more efficient or manage your time?
Right. So, like we both agreed earlier, kind of like it is all about time management and streamlining the workflow, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so the time-consuming tasks, if they are automated and not done manually, that kind of like is it's a big time saver right there. So that is one of the biggest advantages or benefits. And then kind of like coming up with the content ideas, kind of like suggesting optimal posting times when the engagement is at its highest,
Yeah.
and able to generate different content, keeping up with the times and current articles.
Yeah.
That is very important. Um, and then also you see kind of like how your articles are being received and what engagement it does involve. Uh, so then you fine tune it to kind of like putting more articles along those lines because you know that that is where the interest is, and
Yeah.
you are able to attract and engage more audience, which is at the end of the day the idea of kind of like being kind of like on social media and being able to give some item of value to the reader. It can be a friend, a colleague, a client, whoever it is.
Yeah.
But if you don't bring value, then kind of like there's no purpose being served really. So
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Can I ask about in general, like, what do you think about real estate agents who are thinking or maybe on the fence or about using AI in their business?
yeah, essentially, I think AI has been a game changer in some respects. I mean, from what we see, the different applications that are going on. So, if an agent does not use AI going forward, I think they will be left behind. We
Yeah.
have to keep up with the times. And for an agent, basically the main things are lead generation. So AI can definitely be a very effective tool for generating leads.
Yeah.
It is effective in communicating with the clients, which is very important
Yeah.
because obviously you want to be on top of things and be able to communicate in a timely manner. Uh, Also, kind of like analyzing the market and coming up with the trends and the projections and the forecasts and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and sharing that content with the reader who's interested in real estate, specifically to the area that you are catering or the area that you are kind of like geographically located in. I think that is very, very helpful. Plus, it kind of like does help nurture the leads 24/7. I mean, even while you are away on a vacation or sleeping or whatever it might be,
Yeah.
it will still continue to do what it is going to be doing in the background.
Yeah.
So that is very important. And then kind of like recommending the properties based on the criteria or based on the analytics, sharing the information in more accurately. That is kind of like very important.
Yeah.
So I think real estate agents have to use this going forward if they want to really scale themselves and improve their um, business and be able to kind of like be in the game. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's glad
yeah.
to hear you on that page. I just had one more quick question. I just want to ask, what did you think about the AI content creation system? Is it something that you think other real estate agents should adopt for their market?
Yeah, so again, I think I've just touched the tip of the iceberg at this point about how effective AI can be.
Yeah.
There's kind of like so much more that can be done, and I'm excited about kind of like getting into that more because I'm a technology person to an extent,
Yeah.
and Shubh, you have been extremely kind of like personal in your service and helping me understand the different AI tools and how it can be effective in my business,
Yeah.
and explained everything very patiently and set it up for me so that it is kind of like definitely helping me save time. And I'm very happy with the consistency with which the schedule will allow the content to be posted in a timely manner, not kind of like random. So that is very important.
Yeah.
And the content has to be very effective and efficient in kind of like what we are communicating rather than just anything. So
Yeah.
based on the client, engaging kind of like them with the right content is going to be very important.
Yeah.
I don't think the creativity gets affected. It is more about enhancing the productivity basically. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Cool.
but you have been extremely helpful, and I'm very happy that I got introduced to you, and you are helping me with my AI requirements. So, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate those words.
Of
Um,
course, yeah. So,
cool.